A scavenger hunt, uncovering your true feelings, deciding between love or a promotion, and still having feelings for your high school sweetheart. It's all happening here at AfterBuzz TV. Stay tuned.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello! Happy holidays! Welcome, AfterBuzzers and Hallmarkies, to the countdown to Christmas. Tonight, we are covering Christmas Scavenger Hunt. I'm your host, Chelsie Overocker, and to my far left, I have Princess here, who has pretty much all of her shopping planned out for the holidays.
I sure do, and I've already started.
Good for you. Good for you. And next to Princess, we have Haley J, who is just a lover of Christmas and a longtime believer of the Santa Claus.
Long-time believer of Santa Claus.
It's okay.
Still trying to?
Yes. Still trying
okay.
to. We're keeping up the spirit. We're keeping it up.
Keeping it alive.
For tonight, we're going to be breaking down the movie. We're going to be discussing our thoughts. And then we have our Hallmark Essential checklist. We feel like every Hallmark kind of follows the same type of format. Does this movie cover it? And then we have gifting ideas with Haley. What was your guys' overall thought of Christmas Scavenger Hunt?
Well, I actually did a scavenger hunt once, and this movie did make me think of how fun that was and how much work it really takes to build a creative scavenger hunt. And when people really get into it, especially, I'm going to sound so grandma right now, but nowadays with everything being so on your phone, it was just really cool to see a movie, and she even addressed this in one scene saying like, oh, I must have just not checked my emails today. Just really being very present in the moment and in the game was, I think, a cool concept for a movie.
I love that. I really enjoyed their banter. The dialogue was great. I loved all of the jabs she made, and it wasn't like from a bitter place. It to me was actually kind of funny. So yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of this movie.
That was funny.
Just to piggyback on that, I really did enjoy her character. I felt like she was one of the more relatable characters we see in Hallmark, where she's not really the cookie cutter,
Belinda.
Everything's great kind of girl. Belinda,
Yes.
was very, she had a personality. She had a little spunk to her. I like to see that.
Yeah.
I loved how the scavenger hunt brought them closer together, because with each place that had to go visit, it kind of reminded them of their relationship and how they were high school sweethearts. So I thought that connection was really cool.
I will say from the beginning, I knew they were going to end up together.
Yes,
well,
of course.
You guys
We all
know.
do. I'm waiting for that Hallmark movie
Well, when
where
he
they
walks
don't.
in looking that good, you're like, okay.
Oh,
He's
shit.
the lead.
Shout out to him.
No shade to the other guy, but you could tell that he was taking over.
Well,
Right.
guys with dark hair and blue eyes are my type, so he
They
caught
sure
my
are.
check it off the list. He caught my interest right away. So we touched a little bit on Belinda's character, how we liked it. She has a little spunk. What did you guys think of Dustin, besides being good looking?
Oh, he is good looking. I just love a man who, we said this for another movie, and I love when a guy goes after a woman. I feel like from the very beginning, he made his intentions known, not verbally, but it was very clear he wants to be back in her life. And I love the fact that he just prioritized her. I just love seeing that. I want to be prioritized. Yeah. So yeah, I thought he was really cute.
I'm a sucker for the old relationships that once existed to come back and work out. So I really wanted to see these high school sweethearts come back together. And I knew the guy she was with was not the guy for her. So I'm just sitting here patiently waiting for her to realize that the guy she wanted was always there. But she also believed this whole time that he didn't want her the way she wanted him. So I think that's why it was a little bit of a slow burn the second time around for her to adjust to him, because this entire time she thought that he chose not to be with her.
Yeah, Logan did not stand a chance.
Nope.
I loved where, because we were all just wondering what happened between them, because they definitely had that connection from the start. Like when they first meet, they're kind of going back to their ways of being in a relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend. But it was Dustin. He just said, look, I had to take care of my dad. I had to stay back, but I didn't want to hold you back. I just love that in a man, where he doesn't want to hold a woman back because she really wanted to push forward with her career, and he was able to sacrifice their relationship for her to be happy. I mean, I love the fact that he was able to put her first, but did you like the way that he did it?
I'm a big believer in communication, but also teenagers, how emotionally mature, how mature can they be? You know, so I feel like there's a lot of grace for that. You're not always going to make the best decisions or carry things out the best way when you're that age. But I appreciated the fact that he was able to be vulnerable and to be honest in present day, and I think that's so much more valuable and shows how much he's grown and why he's worth a second chance.
Yeah. Well, and I did feel like his reasoning was very sweet because he said, look, I know you. I knew that you would choose to stay back with me, and I love you enough that I don't want to hold you back. So I think as sad as it was to see that they didn't work out then, it's almost like, you know, if you believe in destiny and fate and people come together how they should, I think that they both needed the time apart and to obviously come back together because they were the ones that were supposed to be together in the end.
And how true is it? Sometimes you have to be in a relationship with someone else to realize that you're meant for, you know, a sweetheart or just someone else in general. Like, I do believe timing is everything. And that's something that's so relatable with what we go through, because how many times have we been in a relationship with someone and it's just like, okay, we love this person, but something is still missing. And then you meet someone else or you're reunited with someone else, how it was in their case, and all those sparks just come flying back. So I think it was really cool that they touched base on that it's really all about the timing, and you can go back to your original love too.
And we see that he's held on to these items that she's given him in high
That
school.
was so cute.
That's why, but I was almost really
I
expecting him
know.
to act, you know, more excited to be around her. He played it really cool when you're thinking about it. Like, this guy still got all these things from her. He obviously still really cares. And then from the very beginning, he really had this whole persona of like, you know, I'm just around, I'll help your dad, I'll stop by. He didn't seem to me like, you know, this guy's been in love with you 10 years passing and still in love.
He did it perfectly. It wasn't like he was obsessed with her or anything, or it didn't seem like there was any hard
Total
feelings.
cool guy.
Yeah, like, why did you leave? You know, he just played it cool. And even when he found out that she was involved with a different guy, he just said, hey, I'm still going to be your friend because I don't want to lose our friendship.
Respectful.
So I think that's the best type of guys where, you know, you love someone so much, and even if you feel like we're not meant to be, you just care for them so much that you want them to be happy. And even if you have to be, you know, be with them at a distance and just as a friend level.
I think that's the ultimate sign of maturity. Yeah, to
Huge maturity.
step back and realize that even if it's not me in your life, I still want the best for you.
And that's
It's
real
tough.
love to me too.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's love too.
What'd you guys think about the dad switching her name? Because he kind
loved
of,
it.
yeah, he knew from the start. So he even paired them together.
I told you guys too. My sister actually did this when we were younger. She switched out my name to win a contest. So that fully brought me back to that moment. But I really, because Princess has always said we have that reoccurring theme. We see
the
one
meddling.
parent or some friend or someone is encouraging the relationship. So for the dad to say, you know what, this is my perfect opportunity to pair them together. We needed that to happen. They ultimately needed to be in a situation to be kind of stuck together, forced to work as a team and rebuild the love.
Yeah, sometimes the people around you can see things that you can't. So sometimes it doesn't help to just, you know, nudge things a little bit, not be over the top, not too much push, but just a little bit, because sometimes people can see our blind spots, you know?
Yeah,
Agreed.
that is true. And there was a complication in the relationship where for her to get the promotion, she has to tear down the museum that he works at. But he didn't really seem that upset. And if he was, it was for a split second. It wasn't like it was a fight or anything.
We were discussing that where I felt like normally that would have been a big rift between the characters where we would see the fight maybe last longer. But he seemed to be pretty understanding that there wasn't much she could do. So maybe that just speaks to his character. We've seen him be so, you know, so loving towards not holding her back, and she finally got to where she wanted to be with her career. So maybe he's saying, I made the sacrifice then, I can have a point of view and sacrifice now. So he just overall seems like a good looking and really great guy.
Such a good dude.
So is he single?
I know. Can we have a Dustin?
Not for us, but like for the fans.
For
We're
the
just
fans.
wondering in general, you know?
Yeah.
Well, and that's what makes Hallmark so hard, because they build these perfect characters that we want that in real life. And sometimes, you know, we just don't get it. We get something completely different.
That is true. A little bit of false hope there to create these picture perfect people. But
You're
At least
right.
you can get elements, you know what you do want or what you don't want. So you may not be able to get it all.
well, you said Hallmark makes you believe in love again.
It did because I mean I'm used to. So, all right, give me
Elaborate.
a second. Now, let me elaborate. So, for a while, rom-coms were dead, you know, and I felt like for me, I had just gotten really cynical. The people around me, they weren't really in relationships. The people around me were really driven, and the people that were in relationships, I was like, I don't want that. Like, that's not something to go after. But through watching Hallmark movies, I feel like I'm able to believe in love again, and not the way that I did in high school, which is totally unrealistic, but just taking elements and feeling like, you know what, I'm not going to get the perfect Ken doll, but that doesn't mean that I can't get good qualities out of a man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I may not be able to get everything on my list, but I can at least get the
Might not have
majority
a
of
spreadsheet, but you
right,
can
I can at least get the
bullet points.
majority of it, you know.
majority of
So
it.
speaking
Yeah.
of Christmas lists, but yeah, I feel like it just shows me, hey, you can get at least, you know, a certain number of items on your list.
Yeah, well, and I think that is the point of Hallmark, right? We want these movies to make us feel cozy and peaceful, and we love the idea of a Hallmark movie ending in a positive way because it is like our adult version of Disney Channel. We don't, I mean, I guess you could still watch Disney, but we're not really watching these shows anymore that we always know are going to make us feel good, and people turn to Hallmark to feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
We
very
need
true.
movies like this.
Yeah, especially since, again, rom-coms. Well, we did have a couple this year, but by and large, we don't see them like we used to.
So Hallmark is like that feel-good platform. Have some wine, have some popcorn. You know you're gonna have like a nice cozy
Get some, yeah.
good night.
Get a good night. For the movie, was there like they had 10 stuff they had to list for the scavenger hunt. Was there one in particular that really stuck out in your mind that you guys both really liked? Mine was when they're building the snowman, and that kind of reminded her of their first kiss. Like, oh, this is the area where we had our first kiss at. Kind of built the relationship in that way. Did you guys have anything where you're like, oh, that was a cute moment with the scavenger hunt?
I liked the cooking scene because I think that really showed how I forgot, Dustin was the man that fit her life a lot more versus her current boyfriend who is so uncomfortable in the kitchen. He can't, you know, stand to put down his phone or get butter on his tie. And it just really shows
Yeah.
this is the guy that fits your life, not your current boyfriend. And I think that's when she started seeing it too.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be completely honest. I think there were a couple, like maybe a round or two too many. But by and large,
we thought it was a little dragged out.
Yeah, maybe there could have been less things on the scavenger hunt. But I loved seeing the little boy reunited with his mom from overseas in the military. I thought that was really special, and I love to
That's
see.
cool for them to highlight that.
Yeah, I love to see military couples and military personnel just reflected on TV. So yeah, I thought that was really, really heartwarming.
I like that we all had different moments that we picked up on.
We did. And I also like the karaoke moment as well, too, where they were trying to go into that and sing it.
Well, and to just, I mean, if you're not a confident singer, getting up on stage can be embarrassing. So
Yes,
for her
had
to
many
be
of those.
so comfortable with him and for him to make a joke out of her not being a good singer and for her to still, like, you could tell that they were having fun on stage. So I thought that was a cute moment, and you can see that she completely can be herself with him.
And she could joke and they could tease, because she even gave him a little bit of a hard time when he ended up dating a girl that she never really liked. She's
Yep.
like, really? You were with her? When they went to go see the Santa Claus. But no, I think that was the main concept why this movie was a little different, was because with each scavenger hunt, it brought in something that tied in their relationship, and that's how they got back together.
I'm surprised they didn't call it like memory lane, because it felt like every 2 seconds they were like,
Yeah,
remember when this
That's
happened?
cute.
Yeah.
Christmas down memory lane or something, because
like
like
that.
every single thing was remember. And that's, I agree with you. I do feel like we could have gotten to the point much faster. I think we could have chopped out like
a little bit of it.
section here and there, but I did like to see that, you know, it's when you build that foundation and that connection with someone, sometimes it never goes away, and clearly they rekindled their love.
They rekindled it. They did. Yeah. Anything else that you guys really want to add to the movie that really just stuck out in your mind? I think the scavenger hunt was really cool, but anything else? They didn't really seem like they had that much of a problem to go with it. It was just because Dustin was such a great guy that it's not like he overreacted or got upset about anything.
Yeah, they seem like they'll have a pretty solid life.
Yeah, this is just my personal going back to that checklist, that Christmas list of what I want in a guy. I love seeing a guy who's really sentimental, and I don't feel like we get to see that enough.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to see that he had all those keepsakes, which we kind of touched on earlier. I want to see more sentimental men. I want to see more of this portrayal of guys. So
Maybe we can find them in our Hallmark fans, because I think a lot of guys that are interested in these movies would be, I would think those types of guys, right?
Let us know.
Maybe.
Comment. Let us know.
Let us know where you are, please.
Well, and they do have the Hunks of Hallmark Instagram page too. So there's some eye candy you guys to check
but
out.
But then those need to be those actual guys and not just their characters.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
true.
That'd be to fall in love with the character, and then maybe if you were able to meet them, realize they're nothing like their character. But it is acting, and life is unfortunately not a Hallmark movie. But to Princess's point, we can pick up on certain qualities that we know that we would want in our real life.
Yeah, I agree. Overall, I think we were a fan of this whole entire movie, and we loved the couple. Like, we loved the characters. The girl, Belinda, was more of just a natural, spunky little character, which we can all relate. And then Dustin was just that charming guy that I feel like every girl just kind of fall heads over heels for. So, but another thing I fall in love with is an event that I would want to attend to if I could be in New Jersey right now. But Haley's going to give us some more information about it.
Coming up, guys, I can't believe November is already fully into the first week. But there's about 50 days until Christmas. But if you are already feeling the holiday spirit, you don't even need to wait that long, because kick off the Christmas season is going to be the world's first Christmas con presented by That's For Entertainment. It's November 8th through the 10th in Edison, New Jersey, which is right outside of New York City. There's going to be appearances from Chad Michael Murray, Danica McKellar, and 4 You Mean Girls fans, Gretchen and Aaron themselves, Lacey Chabert, and Jonathan Bennett. So fetch! There's going to be gingerbread wars and an ugly sweater contest, and we are going to be providing coverage and interviews right here on AfterBuzz TV. So make sure to tune in. Again, those dates are November 8th through the 10th. And in the meantime, you can check out our new 24-hour Christmas network, where we are bringing you lots of Christmas coverage, including top celebrations, tips, and holiday traditions from around the world. That's our new Christmas 24/7 network. We've got new shows every week.
Yeah, and they have some really cool shows too about just gifting ideas and gifting essentials too, which is something I want to check out because I haven't even started my Christmas shopping yet.
It's okay though. It's just gonna be November.
Yes,
Right,
it's just November.
We can't all be as prepared as
We can't all be as prepared.
I'm gonna try though. I'm gonna try and take your tips.
But speaking of essentials, we have our Hallmark Essential Checklist. And this is just a format that we feel like Hallmark does in general. And we're going to see if Christmas Scavenger Hunt follows this. So we came up with the denial of the relationship, where someone doesn't really think that they have feelings for them. They're just denying the whole entire thing. A family influence, or it could just be a person that's kind of pushing the relationship. There's a deadline, attempted first kiss, one character is successful, amazing Christmas decorations, conflict, and then, of course, a happy ending. I would say this movie kind of covers it. Now, was there an attempted first kiss? Because I feel like I missed that one.
They had moments where they were very close, I feel like. They, in the truck, and then the boyfriend pulls up. I felt like that was the first one.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was like that first moment where I thought something could have happened, and then it was like perfect timing.
Yeah.
Definitely the denial, though, when her friend was saying, everything has changed now because you know the reason that he left. And she's like, no, that was 10 years ago. No.
Yeah.
So she was still trying to act as if that didn't mean what we all knew that it meant.
Yes.
Yes. I think... Wait, read the last two on our list again.
Conflict and happy ending.
I don't feel like we had too much of a conflict on this one.
More of just like an issue.
Yeah.
It was just an issue.
It's just an issue.
It was not this like
Right.
dramatic defining conflict like we've seen in other Hallmark
Right,
movies.
so that's the one thing I will feel like, we didn't really have a conflict, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Change is good.
Change is good. I would say, that was the only thing that we really didn't have. And then family influence, of course, it's the dad trying to get them together. And he kind of knows that she still has feelings for him. And then one character is successful. It's her, of course. So it's the woman that's successful. So kudos to Belinda for doing that. And I love how she did end up not choosing the promotion, and she wanted to go for him as well, too. So it just shows her sentimental heart. And, of course, we have a happy ending because she dumps Logan and she goes back to him.
Logan had to go. We were all like, yes, finally.
Yeah. Where did he get that
For
photo
Logan,
on his
but-
tie?
Yes.
He had to go.
Yes, he had to
He's
go.
still trying to get it out of his tie.
Yeah, he had to go. Sorry,
But I
Logan.
did like to see that even though Logan's character was portrayed as kind of like this, too busy for you, I've got all this work. I liked that their breakup was nice and peaceful. Like, I like that Hallmark really had him understanding, and even her saying, be with your family on Christmas. And I like to see that they were just two people that realized that there's nothing necessarily wrong with either. They just didn't fit each other's lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah. And it said, she's like,
blaming.
and I love too how she was saying, kind of touch on you, let's still stay friends. Go back, see your family. Don't spend Christmas with another business meeting or something. So they were able to still, just a lot of maturity in this film, honestly.
That's a couple that I actually could see being friends, where they're like, hey, we're both good people. We're just not, our wants and desires are not in the same line. And that happens a lot, and that's okay. And you're right, maturity, just to accept that, and it doesn't have to be worse than it is.
Another thing with the ending too was when he gave her the necklace of them two together. I know that was Princess' favorite moment.
I thought it was so cheesy, and you guys loved it.
We were
It
like,
is cheesy, but I love it.
But if it was from high school, that's very cute.
cute, very cute. Well, that was my favorite gifting idea with that movie. But Haley is going to also give us another gifting idea.
So shout out to Chelsie, because Chelsie let us know about this one. But, you're watching a Hallmark movie, you want to be cozy, you're in your PJs already, and you need the perfect blanket. So there's actually an official, this is my Hallmark Christmas movie watching blanket. So I feel like this is one of those things you didn't know you needed, but when you see it, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to have this movie, or I have to have this gift. So if you have a fellow Hallmarkie in the family, and that would just be the perfect, funny, like, let's watch Hallmark movies together, this is your go-to gift.
Yes, and they also have a shirt too. That's how I knew about the blanket, because I have a shirt that says,
You have a shirt?
I do. It said,
Please
this
wear
is,
it next episode.
I should. This is my Hallmark Christmas watching shirt. And then I have a
Cute.
mug too as well that says,
Oh
this
my
is
God.
The whole thing.
I have the whole thing.
Of course you do.
I have the whole thing. Oh, we get serious at Hallmark with my family.
getting
Let me just say.
I love it. It's tradition. It's part of the
It
Christmas.
is.
My sister and I, one sister in particular, we both are the biggest cheese balls where we have to watch them. So this would be a good gift for her.
It would be a great gift.
We'll
Okay.
ship it to Florida.
Yes. And then there's a link too where you could get this 50% off right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So check that out. But
Absolutely.
I got to get that blanket now.
That is the gift
Have
of
the whole set.
That
of
is
this
the
movie.
gift. Well, that wraps up Christmas Scavenger Hunt. But before we leave, Princess, where can people find you on social media?
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter at princessctv.
You can find me Instagram and Twitter at HeyJ, HAYJ_.
And you can find me on Instagram at Chelsie Overocker. That's Chelsie with an IE. And on Twitter at Chelsie Overocker. All right, Hallmarkies, we'll see you next time breaking down the next movie for the countdown of Christmas. Bye!
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.